Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the HaTzaddik's EMUNAH Bitachon, and we're speaking about the complication of when you have Bitachon and Hishtadlus, you have seemingly an obligation to put in effort to make something happen, and yet realizing the entire time that it's really all Hashem. And the higher the level of Bitachon is in a person, the less Hishtadlus, the less effort they're going to have to make, and they'll have to be certain that they're not doing too much in the world of Hishtadlus that's taking away from the strength of their trait of Bitachon, as we're about to see. And he brings a proof to this. The Chazal in the Midrash in Parshas Miketz tell over the following. Yosef HaTzaddik. Remember, Yosef HaTzaddik was down in the dungeon. He's made in command over there of everyone that is coming in, all of the inmates. And two of the people that come in are the Sarah Mashkin, the cupbearer, and the Sarah Oife, the baker. They wake up one morning and they have a dream. And in the dream, the Sarah Mashkin sees that he's once again serving the grapes to Paroi. And the baker sees that the birds are coming and eating his baked goods. So Yosef interprets the dreams, and he says the meaning is very simple. In 3 days' time, you, the cupbearer, you're going to be once again in the palace of Paroi, serving him his wine. And you, the baker, unfortunately, you're going to go back. You are going to die in 3 days' time. And lo and behold, the dreams come true. But before Yosef finishes interpreting the dreams, he says to the cupbearer the following words. Levakesh misar mashkin v'izkartani. He asked and requested of the cupbearer v'izkartani, remember me, meaning mention me to Paroi. When you're going to be released and you're going to come before Paroi and you're going to be finding favor in his eyes once again, do me a favor. Tell him there's a Yid, Yosef, that's down in the dungeon, his faithful and trusty servant, and he was brought here for a crime that he didn't commit, and perhaps Be'ez Hashem says, Yosef, Par will have Rachmanas on me and will whisk me out of the dungeon over here and will bring me to freedom once again. So do me a favor, just mention me and my plight to Paro. As a result of that, says the HaTzaddik's based on the Midrash, and this was a denigration in the trait of Bitachon. And they say, fortunate is the one who he trusts in Hashem, which is referring to Yosef, and doesn't turn to the arrogant. That means that what? Who is he turning to the arrogant? He's turning to the cupbearer that he's asking to turn to power. These are arrogant people. Since that he turned to the Sarah Mashkin, to the cupbearer, he was given 2 extra years that he's going to be enslaved in the dungeon. Why 2 extra years? Chazal explained, because he mentioned the word to remember me or remember me to Paro twice, and therefore as a punishment, mida keneged mida, measure for measure, he gets 2 extra years of sitting in the dungeon as a seeming lack of his bitachon. Now, the HaTzaddik's asks a very simple question over here that begs the answer of the HaTzaddik's. Yosef certainly knew that his success of getting out of the dungeon had nothing to do with his own efforts. Everything is coming from the Rabbi Shalom. But since that a person has an obligation to do Hishtadlus and not rely upon miracles, Yosef obligated himself. The Shamish, he said, I got to take the opportunity and request from the cupbearer that he brings and he remembers me. So now, let's just stop at this point. What's the problem? Yosef HaTzaddik, he knows that everything's coming from Hashem. He realizes that. But he realized that HaKadosh Baruch Hu put us in the world of Hishtadlus, of making effort. And in such a situation, when he's languishing away in the dungeon of the Egyptian prison, and he has no idea when is the end in sight. When is he going to be redeemed from there? So he has a chance and an opportunity to do a little bit of Hishtadlus. Not doing anything major. He's not signing petitions. He's not clamoring, making noise. He's not having all of the Jewish organizations coming to the house of Paro and saying, let my people go. Nothing of that nature. He's just saying, do me a taiva, do me a favor. When you go there, please mention me to Paro. So what was such a terrible sin of Yosef HaTzaddik that he was punished with 2 extra years in the prison? Stay tuned in Mitzvah Hashem. Tomorrow we will give the answer to that question. All the best.